to the visiting room, and then from the visiting room, I know you got to go through that little process you just talked about, but how does it get in? Like, who do you talk to on? Like, how does it get to your girl on the streets, like, and all that shit?
The
Like,
girl at the time
mm,
had the strips. So I would have her meet. There was times I had her drive. She had to drive all the way to fucking Fall River,
mm,
and she would do it.
mm,
She drove to fucking Springfield from Boston.
mm.
You know what I mean? Like she was good like that. Like,
Yeah.
And you know what happened
Right.
at the end was just.
Welcome back to the W Number. I got a great guest on tonight. Made a recent appearance on a brother channel of mine, but his story's raw. It's unique. What we're going to talk about tonight is the drug trade within prison. He did a lot of business. He made a lot of money, and he did a lot of time in the max all over Massachusetts. So we're going to get into his time. We're going to talk about the drug trade and hustling inside of prison. Great dude from Charlestown. Grew up in the streets. Real dude. So we're going to have a good conversation, man. I hope you guys like the content. Please subscribe. Please hit the like button on the way in. Little street view for the viewers. Let you know where I'm at, what we're doing. So, without further ado, John, tell them what your name is, where you're from, where you grew up, all that stuff.
My fellas, my name is John. John Ahern. I'm from Charlestown. I just was doing crime and doing little shit as young as, you know, anybody on the corner. My sisters were older, so they were always around the older kids, so I watched them and envied them and watched what they did. So when I was old enough to steal cars, break windows, break into cars, we would always go to where the yuppies lived in Charlestown. If we seen a Volkswagen or a Volvo or anything that wasn't something that for someone from Charlestown would drive, we would break into it and see what we could get out of it and go sell it to the fence. There would be fences everywhere that would buy golf clubs, buy whatever. But that's, you know, what we did as young dudes. We would go over to anytime the dead was in town, we would go over to the garden, and we were like literally like 12, 13, and we would rob the deadheads. They were such like literally bitches. We would just, hey, let me get a sheet of acid, and we didn't even know what it cost. When we would get beat by the older kids, they'd be like, yeah, this is $50. We'd have like 6 sheets of acid. We'd rob the deadheads from them. That's what we did, you know.
Yeah. So when you say you were like running around just robbing the yuppies and stuff like that, right? Which is funny to me because we did all the same stuff. I was from the suburbs. I was from like the sticks, you know what I mean? So we're doing all the same stuff, but with a different setting, you know what I mean? Like not as many kids. So I feel like if there was that many kids around me up in the ante, it would just make everything that much worse. Were you guys like, did you guys have like the gangster ethos from like a young age? Like, I know no snitching goes without saying, but like, were you guys egging each other on to like be worse or be badder, stuff like that?
Well, you know what it was. Like my closest friends, they like kind of played sports, stayed in school, like, but I, you know, kind of fended off to the kids that got in more trouble. I was always the one that got in trouble. I'm the only one that went to DYS. I'm the only one that always got hemmed up. I got thrown out of high school, both high schools I went to. Everywhere I went, I got thrown out of. I got thrown out of prisons. I got thrown out of anywhere I went. See what confirmation got thrown out. You know what I mean? I wasn't welcome anywhere because I was just that kid. You didn't want your kids around. You just didn't. A girl didn't. Their parents didn't want. Hey, what are you doing with him? But I always had good morals and values. But I just ventured towards that because I grew up. I was born in the early '80s in Charlestown, in that era, and so, like I told you before we started this, I grew up misinformed by the misinformed. Like that was what I looked up to. I didn't look up to firefighters and longshoremen and this and that, which my father was a longshoreman, and that's where a lot of Charlestown and Salty guys are longshoremen and what have you. So that's why I bring that up. I looked up to, you know, dudes that were gangsters.
Word.
You know.
Fact. So like was there a lot of gangsters around as a kid? Like, did you have a lot of like gangster idols and stuff like that?
I mean, it was 1 square mile, so anything that happened, you heard of, you seen.
Mm.
So there were like dudes running around, certain dude. I'm not gonna use their names because
Yeah.
it's just not. One was a family member of mine who had kids with my sister. He was a very known dude in Charlestown,
Mm.
and he was always shooting it and always getting shot at. God rest his soul, he ended up dying of liver cancer. But while he was an active, we'll say gangster,
Mm.
he got shot. I think it was a total of 14 times,
Wow.
a couple bullets in the head. But this was always going on as I was a kid. And I remember hearing stories about BD was his, people from Charlestown don't know who I'm talking about.
Mm.
BD was his initials. Wow, this BD got shot again, and this one and that one. And then anytime there was a bank robbed, you would always see a helicopter over Charlestown.
Mm.
So, like, even as a kid, you knew what it was.
Word.
Like, you knew what time it was. You know what I mean? Like,
You guys are like, there goes BD again.
right. And like I said, my sisters were older and they hung with all these kids or went out with these kids.
Mm.
Like my sisters always went out with guys that were involved in all that, all guys that done Fed time. Like literally, my sisters would only date dudes who those type of dudes.
Yeah.
They attracted them type of individuals.
Absolutely, bro.
So my family was always around that type of shit. Like I said, my father was, he wasn't completely involved in that type of life, but like he used drugs and he was around that. He was a tough guy. He paid the price. He got murdered when I was 5 years old. So I grew up, knowing the life.
Yeah.
Like knowing like this is what it is.
Wow.
And his murder was never solved.
Wow.
And everybody knew who did it. You know what I mean? And then the guy who killed him got killed not too long later. Not in retribution to that, but just because he was a fucking bully and
Right.
around. And he slapped this dude. He thought he was, a tough guy, slapped this young kid at the time, and dude killed him.
Does your father kind of instill in you those like street virtues and shit like that? Like I know you said he wasn't like a super gangster and nothing like that, but like
But he was a street dude. So like he was a tough dude. That's ultimately why he got killed.
mm.
But he instilled it in my sisters. Like my sister was a tough, bar none, toughest girl in Charleston. Anybody will tell you that. Like, you did not want to fuck with my sister Jessica. Like she fought shit up, and like I love my sister. God rest her soul. She's passed too, but like she was no joke.
Was there like any type of like drug use in your family growing up? Did you kind of grow up around drugs and stuff like that?
Yeah. My sister, my sister passed. She overdosed, but she didn't become an addict till she was in her 40s. But my other sister was an addict. All my cousins. It's just everywhere you went in Charlestown. It is there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so small, and you can't. Every family it seemed it was somehow affected by substance abuse. You know what I mean? In one
Yeah.
way or another. And if you weren't, it distantly affected because it's just such a small area.
You have your father get murdered, right? Then you have your sister pass away from drug abuse. You had to have tons of like anger and rage in you, like, and probably fueled your own addiction and stuff like that. Like, how did that lead to you ending up in prison?
I just enjoyed getting in trouble. I enjoyed as soon as I started drinking. I remember the first night I ever drank. It was the funnest times I ever had. Loved getting stoned. Everything I did, I loved doing. I have to take full accountability that my father being murdered or any of that honestly has nothing to do with any of that. You know what I'm saying? Like
Absolutely.
I just was hooked. I
Yeah.
was just one of those people that wasn't supposed to do drugs. Gambling. I'm a fucking gambling addict. Whatever it is, I'll get addicted to it. Sneakers. I'm fucking addicted to sneakers now. You know what I mean? Like whatever it is I enjoy, I'll get addicted to it. So honestly, that's just what it was. I just loved getting fucking high, loved getting fucked up, and I love the fucking lifestyle.
What age would you say that you fully committed to like a gangster lifestyle and you know you saw yourself like as a gangster like
I mean, let me on the street. Once I started shooting heroin, like that was what it was. I sold drugs and shit and all that here and there,
mm,
and smoked house, and I did all that as a teenager, like throughout doing DYS time and shit like that. And then once I started being heroin, I was just a fucking junkie. I'm gonna be
yeah
honest.
yeah
I was no fucking gangster.
mm,
But once I realized that prison, getting in trouble, once I got comfortable
mm,
in a joint, which was my second bid, and I realized, okay, tough dudes get respect. This is how it works in here. This is probably where I'm gonna spend some time.
mm,
You know what? It isn't the worst place in the world. I got addicted to fucking doing time almost.
yeah
And once I realized that was it, I had made a decision in my head that I am gonna set it off,
yeah
basically. And for those first couple years after that, in my late teens, early 20s, that's basically what I did.
okay
Anybody who disrespected me in the least bit, like I'm gonna be honest, like I might have went overboard. Like
yeah
there was a point where friends in Bill Ricker, like you could just move in with whoever.
yeah
I had one of my best friends living with me, and one time I was in the hole after moving on somebody, and it was like the fourth or fifth time it happened, and I'm up in the hole, and you could talk to the third tier. This is behind the wall,
mm,
and he's like, "Dude, I'm moving up.
yeah
This is crazy. Like you're just moving on fucking people for nothing."
mm,
And I was just like, "Whatever. Like that's not.
right
If that's how you feel,
yeah
do you know what I mean? I feel like everybody should just
yeah
do what I do,
right
and then everybody will walk in line."
mm,
And that's just how I was until like I got upstate and I got to Walpole, and people were like, "What the fuck are you doing?
mm.
Like, you're gonna start a fucking race war. Like, what are you doing?"
So before you get into any of that, right? What age were you when you first stepped foot in the jail that you would end up like sliding upstate to, not like on your first county base and stuff like that? Because I kind of want to focus on your state prison time and the hustle in the prison and the drugs and stuff like that, and give people like, people can understand where you were coming from as a child. You were wrapped up in drugs, you were in Charlestown, the street, street
Right,
kids,
right.
you were chilling in the streets and the projects and all that stuff like that. You get hemmed up, now
All
you're
of my
walking.
decisions became who I was, and that's how I ended up doing a life of spending a lot of fucking time in prison.
Mm.
Okay, let's talk about that.
So you end up in would you say it's Bellrica?
In Billerica, I got a deuce and a half in Billerica.
What age were you when you ended up in Bellrica for the first time, and what happened? Like, why'd you end up there?
I got Okay, I was in South Bay. I had a bid in South Bay. I got out in probation. I told this story yesterday, but it's kind of important. I
Yeah.
was shooting coke. I was running around. I was stealing cars. I was sleeping, basically living in hot boxes.
Mm,
And I get very paranoid when I shoot coke.
mm.
And I keep telling my friends the feds are following me, and they think I'm crazy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I go to the Target in Everett.
Mm,
Feds are following me. I'm shooting coke. The feds are following me. So I get out of the car, and I'm like, I can't get back in this car. The feds are definitely on top of me.
yeah.
Um, I call my friends, pick me up. Feds are following me. I had to get out of the car, come pick me up at Target and Everett. They're like, what? Like, this is crazy. Like, not first you were talking about it. Now you're getting out of cars. Now we have to come drive and pick you up and everything. I'm like, I'm telling you, I'll bet my life that the feds are following me. I know. Like, I'm not fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Like, when you go up Chelsea, like literally, feds will just run up on you. Like, I mean, they're everywhere,
Yeah.
right? Because they're looking at so many people.
Yeah.
Now, they're not looking at me for specific because there's so many things going on. This is when all the people were robbing pharmacies and all that. This was around then,
Yeah.
2001, 2002.
Mm,
So I was about 21, 22. And next time I get in a hot box, I'm in a Dodge Stratus, right? I see the motherfucker again. I'm shoot coke. I ate a bunch of beans. Now I'm dope sick.
mm.
I need some money,
Yeah.
right? I gotta do something.
Yeah.
I gotta fucking do something. Now I was doing some things here and there, nothing big,
Mm.
right? Just stupid shit.
Yeah.
Like running out on people on ATMs and shit like that.
Mm.
And I'm like, let me do something small.
Yeah.
The guy's not gonna chase. He's a federal agent. He's not a cop.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah.
Not a police officer.
Yeah.
Right. So I do. I run in Ames in Wellington and grab 2 DVD players and run out. And the dude fucking kicks chase, obviously.
Mm.
I speed up, now into a fire hydrant.
Mhm.
And I run, he catches me, find out who he actually is. I forget his first, I think it was Bill. Bill Phillips, Special Agent Bill Phillips,
Okay.
with the bank robbery task force. So now I'm in Billerica Police Station,
Mm.
right? They bring me upstairs. Oh, we're waiting for Margot Cronin. She's the head of the bank robbery task force.
Wow.
So I'm like, fuck it. They bring me up. So this is important. Wait,
Mm.
I'm upstairs. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing up here? I'm so beamed out, right? I see the DVD players and they left me alone in the fucking room and
Mm.
I'm on the second floor. But I look at the window. I'm like, bang, right? But instead of just taking off, I throw the DVD players out first. And fucking, so they must have been downstairs and see the DVD players
Mm.
fucking hit the ground and been like, what the fuck is going on here?
Right.
And then I hop out and they tackle me. So I catch an escape charge, larceny over, up. So I get it, all that and get 2.5 years in building.
Right. Right.
So I had to go do it on and after I do my Salt Bay time that I owe.
Mm.
I went to Billerica. After a while, finally they shipped me out.
Yeah.
They shipped me back to South Bay. So
Mm.
you're going back to South Bay. You want to fucking keep kicking the shit out of it.
Mm. So you're getting. It seems to me like I know when I get on a roll like that, I know I'm going back. It's only a matter of time. So it's like the stakes are. They're not even existence. Fuck the stakes. You're just gonna do anything.
Yeah, I got rescued.
Yeah.
I got rescued. Yeah.
Yeah. So were you knew you were going upstate? Were you
Not then. I ended up doing like 3 years in the county
Mm.
and got out, wrapped up all my probation. I did like 40 months, 39, 40 months or something.
Mm.
I forget. I didn't even remember the amount of months or something.
Just explain like the next course of events that happened after you get out of your 3 years in South Bay. What happens after that?
So I was out for a while because I met my kid's mother. I had a child. I got high for a little. She kept me out of trouble for a while, but I was getting high and eventually fucking as soon as I could get away from her,
Mm.
I ate some beans and just went on a fucking crime spree.
Mhm.
And like I said on the last podcast, this is at least the one smart thing I did. Statute of limitations is passed on this. So I did a carjacking, right? I carjacked some woman, took everything she had, took her money, took her purse, took the keys, took off, right? Took the money, got high with a couple friends of mine, and then they gave me clothes and changed.
Mm.
So then I took the car and went and robbed store 24. But, they gave the cops the 2 different descriptions.
Yeah.
So when I finally got grabbed, they knew it was me. I had a mask on and all that, but it didn't matter. They snatched my girl the next day with the same sweatpants on, and so they grabbed me, and I'm like, it's over, right? Like I know, but it's time to go upstate anyway.
Mhm.
So I'm like, all right, you got me, right? They're like, okay, you did the carjacking. No, I don't know anything about a carjacking,
Mm.
but I did rob store 24, and I know I can go to court and just take it 3 in a day or something. But I didn't do. I don't know anything about a fucking carjack.
Right.
Right. So that's what I did.
Yeah.
I went, and now I got a kid. I got a beautiful daughter, but this is the start of me going to state prison and not being in her life her whole life. She's fucking 18 now and in college, and I don't even know her.
Mm.
But this is when I caught my first state prison sentence. That was in 2006.
And how old were you exactly when that?
25.
25 years old.
Yeah.
So you start hearing all these big terms: carjacking, armed robberies, bank robberies, FBI, all that shit. What are you thinking?
And none. I wasn't worried. I knew when I got indicted. I seen it. It was a simple. As soon as I talked to my lawyer, you can get me a 3 in a day, and she was like, probably.
Mm.
And that's all I was thinking.
Yeah.
Like honestly, it was at the point like I got to go upstate anyways. Like type of them like I know I'm so sick. I'm so fucking sick that like I know at some point I got to go to state prison, and this is me
Mm,
getting ready to go to state prison because it's a part of something that me as a kid from Charlestown and a guy who thinks he's cool and tough has to do
mm.
and go to Walpole and sit at the Charlestown table. You know what I mean?
It's so funny how like
Which is something I did do.
yeah, it's funny how like that's what we grow up thinking
Right.
like is cool. Like, yeah, we're gonna get upstate, we're gonna be at the table, from your wherever you're from, your city or whatever. And it's like that's where all the tough guy can go, like all the myths of our neighborhoods and stuff like that. And you gotta kind of go through this like rigmarole to get the status and all that stuff that you think is so cool. I mean, like at the end of the day, it's not even worth it at all. Like none of that shit matters, dude.
And you get no refund on that time. You get no once you realize how ridiculous it all is, you can't get none of that back. It's just like it is what it is. If you smarten up and get your life back,
Mm,
that's it. You're whatever age you are, and you got to start from that point.
mm.
But all those years are fucking gone, and whatever you did during that, all the mental fucks you went through fighting with cops and fighting move teams and spending years in the fucking hole, you- that damage is done.
Mm. So you get up there, you get upstate, you go straight to SBCC.
No,
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 what
I went
happened?
to Concord.
Concord.
I went to Concord, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna get big, I'm gonna put weight on, and I'm gonna hammer people out.
So I know like your part of your story and what I want to talk about today is definitely about, you get the lug, you become the lug, you become the man inside of the joint, which is basically like you become God. You get I know that I felt like, I had made me feel important, it's just all that shit. You just feel something different. Like you feel like you got a level of status once you start doing that. You got the money. You don't have to worry about money. You don't have to worry about all that shit, bro. Getting high. You don't have to chase and stuff like that. But we'll get into all that shit. But like you start.
But that's how I got to know everybody, and
Mm,
everybody get to know me and know that, all right, John, that's John. He'll put in his work. He's about his business, and bang, I went up to Walpole. I'm glad I did. I had fun. I got drunk. I met a lot of good guys, and I'm gonna be honest, the time went by so fucking fast.
mm.
You know,
What was it like in Walpole?
when I first got there, it was a crazy, it was nuts. It was off the wall.
Mm,
I mean, watching that place change because I was there when it turned into classification when they shipped everyone out up the max.
mm.
Like just when I got there, the first day I got there, I'm there 5 minutes. When you go there, you go to OU. Kid comes up to me. So now my cousin's in the block. Uh, and he sends me over a couple Johnnies. He's like, there's a batch on, fucking, this one got Klonopin, this one. So he's like, you're set, you're straight, boom. But he's like, I got a view of the mods, the yacht.
Mm.
And he's like, you want to see someone get stabbed? Um, go look out in the yard in like 5 minutes. And I'm like, fucking yeah, ain't right. So I look out in the yard, fucking dudes were playing handball together. Dudes are literally playing handball together. And then just out of nowhere, fucking Justin Breakspear which I mean, that's all, like I said, statute of limitations.
Yeah,
Just started
I remember that.
hammering out Dennis Foster.
Yeah.
Dennis Foster had told on something had just happened in the block with Michael Fiddler and Jerry was there and Ralph. And they hid the knife in Max's cell with the dude. Remember the dude? He was up. He used to piss. He used to put his food on the. He was me and your brother were Sally's. He was on the table with us. Jonathan Sanchez. Remember Sanchez? The cops used to fuck with him, call him
Dirty
Sanchez.
Sanchez, bro. Dirty Sanchez.
Yes. It was with Sancheezy. Sancheezy used to put his food on his bed, piss on it, and eat it. Right? That's how fucking crazy Sanchez was. Right? So Fiddler stabbed Sanchez.
Get the fuck out of
Yeah,
here. He stabbed
yeah.
Sanchez.
You
Yeah, I
know,
remember he was
and,
known to have been around for a long
but
time,
but
Sanchez.
Sanchez fucking dislocated Fiddler's jaw.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, they say the crazy ones got the crazy strength,
yeah,
and they do, bro. You got
yeah.
to watch out for them, dude.
They moved on Sanchez, and Sanchez friggin' dislocated Fiddler's jaw, but Fiddler got him with a plastic piece.
Mm,
And the kid Foster fucking told. They found out, and when they went to the yard, Foster got it. He got hit up like
mm,
11, 12 times. So I'm like,
yeah.
this is it. I've been in Walpole 5 minutes, and it was bloody already.
Yeah. So you see this happen right when you get there, but you got your boys reaching out, throwing you the customary Johnnies and some booze and stuff like that. Probably gave you the booze recipe, maybe a piece of a bottom and stuff. And you're getting set up, and you're getting a feel for the place.
It was so nuts. The cops, I've never been, like Bill Ricker, the cops, and you could just say whatever to them, like, fuck you, suck my dick, fuck your mother. Like going from South Bay to that, like you couldn't say nothing to them.
Mm,
Dudes were getting bodied when I first started doing time. I was there in the 90s, the late 90s, when like they had to bring the feds in because people were just going off the count.
mm,
Like, yeah, where'd this dude go? Oh, infirmaries. He hung himself, but he didn't hang himself. The cops fucking killed him.
mm.
They were just killing dudes. But you wouldn't say nothing to the cops. Like, you just did it.
Yeah.
You just fell in line. Like, that's what it was. I don't care who you were, how fucking tough. It's just everyone did. And that's what it was. So going from there to Bill Ricker and Jules guitar shit to cops, but going from that to Walpole, like, no, like, we had the run of the jump.
Mm,
I got so drunk within like 3 days there, and I passed out and I beamed out. I ate like four blue Clonopins and got shit faced and was passed out under the toilet. And they were like trying to wake me up for cum,
yeah.
and I like couldn't fucking move. And they were just like, fucking leave them.
I've honestly been there before. I
Yeah,
swear to God, I've been so drunk. I threw up all over the floor. The cops are coming banging on the door for count, and I'm like, "Fuck you, go away." But when you say like, so,
I had to get told. I don't remember. I had to get told this. I
yeah,
have no fucking recollection
yeah,
of this. The cop told me. He's like,
yeah,
dude, you were so fucked up. I was kicking you in the
yeah,
shoulder. You were fuck like,
yeah,
but it was just so nuts how like I'm like, how the like, dude, that would be so crazy in South
yeah,
Bay. Fucking, they'd drag you
yeah.
fucking through the elevator, and you'd be getting bounced off the elevator.
So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about is, so the atmosphere between the cops and the convicts, right? So you go from a place where the cops are just they're nothing, they're nobodies, to a place where the cops will kill you if you get crazy with them or disrespect them in any type of way. But at the same time, they got a difference for us as convicts. Like, they're not just walking around killing people, not afraid themselves. I know that they were afraid to disrespect us just as much, and I think it was an atmosphere of deadly mutual respect,
They
I would say.
respected cons.
Yeah.
They respected cons. That's what it was, and I liked it. There was cops there, like you know, they were cops, but like I knew they called me John,
Mm,
and it was what it was. They were cops, but at the end of the day, they still had to do their fucking job, and I knew that. But
mm.
on a personal level, they were all right. They always treated me with respect because I treated everyone with respect. But there was so many times like there was certain cops that just were such fucking punks that
Mm,
it almost went down. Like there was a lieutenant there, the one that Richie Gardner got in a beef with,
yeah, yeah,
Denemy. He he came in the chow hall one day and he had this cop stand at our table. He almost went to walk behind our fucking table, which is a no-no.
mm,
In Walpole, you don't walk behind the tables. Cops don't, nobody fucking does.
mm,
It's an automatic, you get moved on.
yeah,
And he went to do it, and I'm like, don't fucking do it. Oh, Lieutenant. And I'm like, the lieutenant came and stood there and fucking stared at us eating the whole time. And then he followed us out, and then he pulled Sweeney
yeah,
out and stripped him. And I'm like, what he did was so disrespectful just to our table
mm,
that I'm like, that's it. When I see him again, he's getting moved on. I went back out in the hallway, I
mm,
almost got tackled. And I'm like, Sweeney, what do you want to fucking do? What do you want to do? You want to fucking get him? But
mm,
we couldn't get back towards the chow hall. There's too many cops.
mm,
So I'm like, all right, we'll just wait and get him. So I had made it fucking known. I didn't go telling everybody,
Right.
but guys knew, certain guys knew. And Joe Donovan, who was a lifer, at the time he had no rap update. He's like, dude, you can't do this. I'm like, I could do whatever the fuck I want. The fuck you mean I can't do it?
Yeah.
You can't set it off on a lieutenant in the chow. I could do whatever the fuck I want.
Mm.
This guy disrespected my fucking table, the Charlestown fucking table, right? And that's it. He's getting fucking moved on.
Mm.
Never seen the fucking lieutenant again for like 6 months. Now, I don't know what happened,
Mm.
right? Something happened.
They probably moved him because they knew something.
Something happened with, I don't know what happened.
Right.
Okay, something happened.
Yeah.
But I could tell you all my fucking life at that time,
Yeah.
he was getting moved on.
Right.
He
Right.
was getting moved on.
Yeah.
And anybody that was at that table at that time would tell you that I was gassed up and that was it. Now, right now, like, I'm not doing shit like that.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I was two different. We're talking about two different people.
Mm.
You know?
I mean, times change, people change, but at the time, like you got a prison mindset, and the mindset is respect or fucking violence. That's it. There's no in between. It's either you're gonna respect me in every sense of the word and the people I'm with, or you're outright disrespecting me. And in that case, it has to be addressed. And the only way to address it is by violence. There's no talking about it. So yeah, I understand.
At that
100%.
time, in Walpole, your table was your table, and you stood by it, and you fucking guarded it with your whatever, whatever you had to do. And if someone disrespected your table, and I guess some people thought that cops don't apply to that, but as far as I was concerned, if you disrespected my table, it's on. I don't care who the fuck you were.
Right.
Superintendent, fucking God, president. I don't give a fuck.
Right.
You'll get moved on.
So explain a little bit about like table etiquette. You know, your table's not just your table that you eat at. You go back to the block with them. You're in the yard. Explain a little bit about that.
Move for your table. That's it. Anyone who sits at your table, right? If someone moves on someone at your table, like you have to move for them. Do
Right.
you know what I mean? And someone at their table, somebody from another table moves on someone from your table. That's it. Your table's got smoked. It's just like a block in Boston. It's the same thing, you know, if you want to make an analogy.
Right.
It's like if somebody from Heat moves on somebody from Copeland. You know what I mean? Then Copeland got smoked with H block, not even H block or whatever.
Yeah. So
You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing.
right. So, you know, just you eat with them, you move for them. That's your people. You know what I mean? And I just did a little video about it. You know, like an alleged war. You know, we call it a war because, for a lack of a better term, a group of people going after a group of people is technically a war. And I mean, I guess there's different levels to that shit. You know, when people are dying, it's a lot more serious, and when people are just getting smashed out, it can still be very serious. I mean, you know, people get hurt in fistfights. They get very hurt.
I mean, look what happened to fucking. He was an old man, but Billy the Jew.
Yeah.
But you've seen people hit their heads. I've seen. I don't know if you know the kid, Alex Callahan.
Yeah.
Did you know Alex?
I didn't know him personally, but I know of him. Yeah, yeah.
He got killed in a fist fight in South Bay.
What?
He's dead. I don't know, 10 years ago.
Wow, dude, I never even heard about that.
Killed in a fight.
Yeah.
In South Bay in the South. Hit your head. There's so many corners.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's not the only time that's happened. If I wanted to sit here and think, I could think of other times it's happened, but things happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
First of all, when you go into a fight, there's no telling what's going to end up being, right? So you go into every fight like it's a life or death situation, because someone could just pull out a strap and there you go. The things have just upped the ante, and you could just get into a moment where you're like, fuck this, I'm stabbing you. And then you pull out the strap, it's over. And so every single fight is a potential death, right? And whether you hit your head or you get stabbed, or you just get your jaw mangled, or your teeth knocked out of your head, or your ribs broken, whatever. It could be anything. And inside of prison, there's nowhere to run. You're fighting. And so let bring us into our next topic a little smoothly. So, you know, when you go from the transition from Walpole to SPCC, was that during double bunking?
No, I wrapped up.
Okay.
I wrapped up and I got out for a short time and I came back like 9 days later
Mm.
because I was just still, I brought Walpole to the streets.
Wow.
You
You
know what
came
I
back
mean?
9 days later?
Yeah.
What the fuck? So what happened 9 days later? Like you go home and then what happens?
I was
Nine.
on some shit. I OD'd like 6 times, just 5 or 6 times. I lost count. I don't know how many times it was because every time I got high, I went out. I ate a bunch of beans, and every time I got high, I went out. And I was back in. I wrapped up in August of '09. I was in Concord before '09. And
So you get back to Concord, and what's your mentality at this point now? Are you facing a lot of time, or
no,
what's going?
I just had a probation violation, so they let me go, and uh, I was back. I ended up wrapping that probation up and getting 6 months in the bay.
Mm,
And I did. I I moved on 2 kids in Newman.
mm,
I went in on 2 kids on Newman. I
mm.
shouldn't say I moved. I went in on two. I went in to fight this kid, and there was 2 kids in there, and I locked the fucking door behind me.
So there's a lot of shit that goes on in between that time and then like, because I remember when we were together, you were making moves, bro. You were the dude, bro. And I mean, you had been established for a long time, making money, and you had things going. And before we even get any further, just want to explain that this is one of my brothers. He's a boyo, and that's just he was in the circle of people that I was with, and this is just our mentality as a whole. Like this is how people think in there. This is just what we think like. So doing that is not like you're not like breaking the laws of the community. You're abiding by the laws of the joint. You know what I mean? You're abiding by the code, and so this is following the rules for us is by breaking the rules. You know what I mean? But at what point do you get the time where you end up doing about what you say it was 10 years and all that stuff, or
I
eight,
did seven.
seven?
Six, six,
Okay.
six. Um,
Yeah, just you could
it ended
I
up,
could
yeah, it ended up being around 7, but I ended up getting 6 with doing around 7. But I got out and came back to Concord like 5 times with a slew of cases.
mm,
Mayhem. I had another case with the feds involved that thank God that the feds indicted my co-defendant, not me.
mm,
But since I brought it up yesterday in in Maddie's podcast,
Bob,
but I didn't touch more on it, and I thought about it after, like, you know what, that's gonna leave people wondering. So
perfect time to do it.
I actually have to. I didn't get caught at the scene. I ended up getting charged later with a gun and conspiracy to commit armed robbery.
Well, explain what happened.
And my co-defendant did, and so I ended up getting pinched for stabbing and that. I had warrants for hitting somebody up and for that. And I ended up going to Nashua Street. Victim never testified or never came forward. So after 4 months of going to court and then dismissing it, I go to Somerville Court and I get the paperwork and it said some things that I wish it didn't. But
Mhm.
um, my co-defendant, he told on me. But
Yeah. So when before we even move
the
forward,
rest
all
of
right.
these,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not dirty. I'm
Okay,
not
yeah.
saying anything bad about him because he's gone. But he recanted. So that's why the feds couldn't indict me.
Okay.
Um,
Say no more.
so they had to just dismiss the case. So he went to federal prison for it. I didn't. I got away from the scene, and there was nothing that could point me besides him. And when he recanted, that the feds had to dismiss the case.
Um,
So that was that. So they dismissed. They let me go after that. They
mhm,
had to, and then I picked up a mayhem like a week later,
mhm.
and allegedly I you dismembered somebody's face, and um, so I sat for that for a little. And while I was in, I picked up and this is when we were together. I
Mm,
was 52A
okay.
SBCC. I picked up a conspiracy case in the joint in Concord,
Okay.
trying to lug whatever. But that they said there was things in the phone. I'm not stupid. I never said nothing on the phone. People told. They went back, listened to the phone. There was nothing there, and they had to dismiss that. The victim never came forward. They had to let me go again, release me into society, which it just really at this time, I'm gonna be honest, just was such a bad fucking idea.
Mhm.
It really was. So I went back out for like a week or two, and I just went on a fucking crime spree, robbing everything there was to rob in Charlestown. And uh, I got no. I robbed Store 24 and a cab driver out there, and then I went back to Concord. That's right. Then I bailed out. Then I went on the robbing spree. So I was out on bail for an armed robbery and picked up like four or five more. And that's what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when you say it out loud, it's just crazy.
It's a lot, bro.
That's my fucking life. Yeah.
Yeah, I go over all these things in my head all the time too, and I'll be telling a story, and I'm like, "Oh, wait, no, no," you know what I mean? It always happens to me, dude. There's just so many things that happen, especially when you're living a hectic life like that. You know what I mean? And getting high and stuff. You know, it's hard to remember every little thing that happens, how it happens, but things become a blur. But so you end up back up
That
top.
I ended up back up to Max. I ended up taking Walpole straight to SBCC because
Mm.
where else would I go?
So explain what a lug is first of all. Explain like the process you go through with the, you're gonna have to get on the phone, reach people, you have to figure out ways to do it and get through, you're making money, all that stuff like that. Just explain the whole process from beginning to end.
So I mean I've made because of this a lot of friggin' enemies and it sucks because there's just so many girls that like it's not just recreation like it makes you feel good when you have a girl writing you and telling you things you want to hear.
Mm,
So like that's what I did. I'm good with the pen. So I had multiple girls writing and doing whatever for, so I had at that point, you know, a girl that was locked up at the time, but I had met her through my sister. She was in a program with my sister. And so I seen what she looked like, and she wasn't bad looking. And so she had wrote me out of nowhere, but I had already had like another two girls on the line, and
mm,
I already had a girl that I knew I could call out of nowhere, and she would just come up and look. She was that type of girl. Another girl, she from Somerville, God rest her soul,
mm,
but she was that type of girl. She was just a down ass chick. She'd been to Framingham a shitload of times, done a bunch of time, and I called her out of nowhere. She came up and brought up a bomb and a bunch of beans, bunch of sobos. That was when it wasn't even strips.
mm,
And that was before the girl had got out.
mm.
Just to like do a test run.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
right.
And that girl, before she got out, when she got out, she wasn't allowed to come in. So all my shit was coming in through other people.
Mm,
So I had to every month try to find somebody I trusted. For a while, there were people that I could trust. I never got beat for a package.
mm,
Do you know what I mean? Because that's why you have to hold all the shit you went through all those years, all that whole time, all that fucking head you busted. Like that's when it stands for something.
mm.
Because like nobody's gonna beat you for a package because then like you're gonna have to fucking hurt them.
Right.
That's when comes down like, you know what, I have to. And at some point you get to where you start to fucking like it. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Mhm.
You get to a point where after like every 90 days, it's like, fuck, I gotta bust somebody up. You know what I mean?
You get
It's
the
like you get
itch.
addicted to it.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest with you. You get addicted to it, just like anything else. But I had got to the point where I'm getting like I was in 30s and I just kind of kicked back. And Suboxone had come around and I just, kind of just didn't feel like fucking getting in trouble no more. I just wanted to get high. I'd get a set of works and just get as much state meds as possible and just shoot as much state meds as I could and just had 90 strips a month coming in.
Mm,
And like you say, like you're the man, like everyone, you got what everybody wants,
mm.
but it's fucking stressful because everybody, you know, it comes to you and it's like, you can't satisfy everybody. You gotta figure out like, okay, who am I gonna take care of? Who am I gonna say no to? Who's coming to the well too many times?
Mm.
Like, it's you start to live comfortably. Yeah, I had so much canteen I had to keep in other people's cells, and you got so many books of stands, but then it's like, look where I am. Like
Yeah.
that place. is different. That place isn't like Walpole where you can just kick back and fuck that. That place is built to isolate, and so you can't be around like your boys. You can't go out for rec with all your boys because they do split tiers and
Mm.
fucking. Then you start getting urine. I was on urines for fucking 5 years. Every 2 weeks, every fucking 2 weeks, I had to figure out how to beat a fucking urine. And the shit I did to try to fucking beat these urines and not get lugged every 2 weeks was fucking insane. Honestly, the shit you have to do, like the shit I was tucking fucking piss balls, but it wasn't piss.
Mm.
All right, I wasn't putting piss in that. Other people were because they're stupid. I was just water with a little bit of coffee in it. It looks like piss, and I would use that and like fucking. It just gets tiring fucking doing it.
Mm.
Then you have to ask for a dry cell, and then you got cops that don't want to give you a dry cell. And it's like you get tired of getting lugged every 2 fucking weeks. Oh God, I got lugged so many fucking times. I got lugged so many times, man.
Bro, I'm right there
You
with
get
you.
comfortable.
I already
You get
know.
fucking comfortable in
Yeah,
that fucking place.
I
That's what
already know,
it's like.
bro.
I got in 5, 6 years there. I got a single cell once for a week.
Mm.
Once.
Yeah. And what he means by single cell, so like after a certain amount of time, if you're good, you get to move to the top tier where they give you a single cell. Like, how do you like when you're calling home, you got to set the package up, then you got to get the package into the facility through whoever it is. And then once you get the package into the facility, what happens to it then? Where does it go?
So there was other times that the people I had lugging were in different blocks. So I'd have to wait for school or whatever it was and wait for movement, and it would suck.
Mm.
Like because the joint is always getting locked down. Blocks are always getting locked down. And you don't know how many times I've had packed missiles
Mm.
in other blocks. And we have to wait for that block to open up because every time there's a fight, the block gets locked down for a day or two. And then our block would get locked down. So nobody goes to movement from our block to their block. But you would have to, go through school, have somebody you trust from your block, meet somebody on that block that you trust. And, nowadays, or like more towards the end, it would get harder to find people you trust.
Mm.
And to be honest, you would really have to try to find people of other races that you trusted or that you knew for years.
Why is that though? Why do you say you have to find people from other races?
Because so many white dudes were strung out
Mm.
that I just didn't even want to take the chance with them. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I know so many dudes from Boston from doing time forever
Mm.
through DYS through South Bay that I could just rely on them.
Mm.
Hey, do you know him? Do you know this one on this block on P1?
Mm.
Hey, you go to school, you go to whatever type
Mm.
of spectrum or whatever
Mm.
with them. Yeah. Hey, can you grab this from them? I'll hook you up. I'll take care of you.
Mm.
Boom, and then give them a couple books of stamps for doing it. And
So when you're getting these packages in, are you getting like a massive amount? Like, what are you getting in for a package, and how do you get it to the visiting room? And then from the visiting room, I know you got to go through that little process you just talked about, but how does it get in? Like, who do you talk to on? Like, how does it get to your girl on the streets? Like, and all that shit. Like,
my
it's got to be a
girl
big process.
the strips.
Okay.
Okay. Well, not my girl. No, the girl at the time
Mm.
had the strips. So I would have her meet. There was times I had her drive. She had to drive all the way to fucking Fall River,
Mm.
and she would do it.
Mm.
She drove to fucking Springfield from Boston.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like she was good like that. Like,
Yeah.
and you know what happened
Right.
at the end was just it just sucks what ended up happening with that situation.
Right.
But she was good. She took care of me during that bid. But after it exchanged hands, I didn't give a fuck. I didn't give two fucks what happened as long as I got my half.
Mm.
The deal was if you got my shit in, it's 50-50. I give you 100 strips, you give me 50.
Mm.
I give you 90, you give me 45.
Mm.
I don't give a fuck what you do as long as I get my art.
Mm.
And I never cared or asked. The problem is, right? So many people want to fucking know what's going on when they have nothing to do with nothing.
Mm.
I had a kid bringing my shit in for a long time. And I had people coming to me and saying, do you know what he's doing? He's doing this. And I'm like, no, I don't know what he's doing. And I don't fucking care.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. Why do you care? Why are you talking about it?
Mm.
Why are you talking about it? It's none of your business.
Mm.
That's why it's going to get blown up.
Mm.
What he was doing was working for so long.
Mm.
And he got fucking blown up because of fucking idiots crossing the lines and breaking the rules of fucking prison, talking about shit that got nothing to do with them.
Mm.
Nothing.
So you got other people in on your packages every time, or is it just you that?
It would just be me and the other person.
Mm.
It would obviously be this fucking idiot. How would these people know what it was unless he's fucking telling people?
Wow.
And why? You just want to be cool and tell people, hey, I'm doing this.
Mm.
Why? I never knew what the fuck he was doing. Never. Not even to this day.
Right.
I didn't even know what the fuck he was doing.
Right.
Because I could fucking care less. What do I care?
Or,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah. As long as what you're supposed to get hits your hand,
And
there shouldn't be any other
then
issue.
we were on the same block.
Yeah.
And it was smooth. We were friggin', what's his name? AD we talked him into bringing in friggin' like a quarter ounce. And fucking, he was giving us a fucking gram each every fucking Sunday.
Yeah.
Every Sunday. This motherfucker shot a whole fucking gram at once. This fucking idiot hadn't shot coke in God knows how long. He's been in 10 years. What? This fucking animal, right? He's just a pig. A pig with everything. You know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
He shoots a whole fucking gram at once. I shot the thing in like 4 or 5 shots.
Yeah.
And I got a ringer every time.
Oh my God.
This fucking idiot shoots a whole thing in one fucking shot and was fucking flopping.
Yeah.
Fucking,
God bless him.
so like he's down there. I'm locked in. I'm like, what the fuck? Get away from my door. They're like fucking, he's down there.
He's so bad.
Fucking flopping. He just did the whole thing at once. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
He's dead now.
Is he?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Talk about Springfield.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
He's dead. Yep. Ah, sad. Yep.
he was a good kid.
Yeah.
He's
So
good person.
you got
God bless his soul. But that's
people-
why. That's shit like we just talked about. That,
yeah.
That's fucking pig.
You got people meeting his girl or his whoever was doing it for him. I mean, obviously he's passed away now and it really
Yeah, it
doesn't
was his-
matter. Shit like that.
He had that girl that would do anything for him.
Mm.
Yeah.
And then once you get it in your hands, what's the process? Then you got to sell it on the block, and are you doing it all yourself?
I had people that were buying 5-packs. The deal was I had to, if she gave me 90, I just had to give her 900.
Mm.
If she gave me 100, I had to give her 1,000.
Mm.
So I just had to give her $10 for everyone she gave.
Mm. And by she, you mean like taking care of your people or
Yeah.
his people? Yeah. So, and how long did that
So
go?
I was kicking the money back. So like she was still bitching, complaining, because it really wasn't as easy as you would think to get it back. I would
Mm.
manage to do it every time, just to shut her up and just to please her, right?
Mm.
She never did not get her money, not
Right.
once. It wasn't as easy as you would think
Mm.
when shit got really fucking flooded.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
When you are at your peak, how much money are you making?
I had loot. I had some loot. I put
Yeah.
money aside. I was put money in this one's account, that one's account, and that was a problem,
Mm.
right? Like dudes were pulling stunts. That fucking punk, what's his name? The cockeyed fucking kid pulled a stunt. I tried to take his head off on the block, and he took off behind the desk. Doyle, that fucking punk. That's why he checked in.
Yeah. Oh man.
We took his TV and shit, and I knew that was such a shady fucking situation.
Mm.
They come in, Shepard comes in, goes right to the cell where his TV is, right? Then RG's at my door, right? He's got to run his fucking job already, right? He's in a single cell. He made a big First of all, he begged me and made the biggest deal. This is a kid on single cell status,
Mm.
right? Made the biggest deal to move in my cell. I'm in with Calvano,
Mm.
who owes me my whole body 8 times, right?
Yeah.
From Liverpool, which I don't mind.
Yeah. So explain that so people know what you're talking about. Tattoos.
It's my celly,
Yeah,
kid
even-
from Fall River. He's a tattoo artist. And I would just, Hey, can I get a piece? Oh, yeah, no problem. There's a forearm. There's my shoulder. There's my back.
Yeah.
I would just piece them to death and okay, you owe me a leg.
Yeah.
So he owed me a whole body, basically.
Yeah.
He was supposed to tattoo everywhere. But I got this kid who is my right hand, right? Begging me, I gotta move, you gotta move me in, you gotta move me. Now it's all he's got a motive. He's got an ulterior motive. I'm lugging, right? I got fucking I got Johnny's, right? I got everyone's Johnny's. I got everyone's fucking wellies. I got every state med sewed up on the block. And I got as many Suboxone as you could want, right? So he wants to move in and he's just pulling stunts like just left and right. Like, I gotta move in your fucking cell. They're gonna move someone in my cell. I know it. And I'm like, dude, you're on single fucking cell status, right? So he won't stop until finally it happens, right? I move in a cell, and Calvano's now coming in my cell during gym and yard to finish my tattoo, right? And then they end up moving the animal, what's his name, in his cell, and he ended up checking in. The animal with the one arm, I mean the one ear from Salty.
Oh,
Different.
he's a psycho.
Different in his cell who every cellmate he's ever had
Tortured.
is went to PC, right? The kid is just so crazy. He had a package once, right? Well, my package, right? And he couldn't shit it out. We were locked down for like 8 days, and he was butt naked in the cell because someone was at the door running. It was like fucking Kivlin's in there, butt naked. The kid, he's dead now from Lowell. Leganis. Leganis was in there and he was fucking taking it all out on him, bouncing him off the wall and shit. And finally he checked in too. But that's what happened to Calvano. So he didn't finish my friggin' tattoo. So Archie moving to cell. So now all of a sudden, now he's got to move out, right? That day. So he's up there. They run in the morning and go to the cell and grab the TV. And I'm like, I don't like it. I think they're coming back.
Yeah.
Because I'm the reason he checked in.
Right.
Right? I try to take his head off. He's seen me. The three of us were talking. I went to get his canteen, right? And there was only $14 in there. I had like $300 in his account.
Yeah.
I'm like, how the fuck is there $14? Go get a printout. Now, a printout is you got a printout from the caseworker to see all your money withdrawals and deposits and all that. And he had sent all my money out to Puerto Ricans for Suboxone. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? So the three of us are standing there and he sees the foot turn because I'm about to take his fucking head off. And he fucking ducked and ran behind the desk. And I chase him to the desk and I go to behind it and the cop stands there like, you can't do this. It was three cool cops, thank God, because any other cop would have froze the fucking block up.
Yeah.
Right? It was Latwell, Kendall, and I forget the third one. But they didn't freeze it up. They were just like, what the fuck? You can't do this.
Yeah.
Fucking, and they were, it was lock-in time.
Yeah.
So Richie grabs me, fucking puts me in a fucking beer hole. He's like, dude, just get him when we come out.
Yeah.
Just go in his cell. I'm like, all right, fucking, you know what time it is.
Yeah.
So I'm going in his cell when we come out for lunch.
Yeah.
Because that was morning rec.
Yeah.
And obviously, you know what happens. He fucking checks in.
Yeah.
And, but that stems from having to put money in the reason I had to put money in people's, accounts was because the dirty earns. I had to freeze for like $14,000 from like however many dirty earns, like 19 or 20, something crazy. Some crazy amount. They just wouldn't stop.
So when you get a dirty urine, why do they freeze your account? What are they doing? What are they charging you?
Urines. They're charging you for future urines. They charge you for urines for 144 years if you get that many dirty urines, even though you don't have that much time left. Which is the craziest thing alive. Finally, we got it so they couldn't charge you past what you had left for time. Then I paid that off and was able to use my account. But it took like 3 or 4 years to do it. But I always had to have money in other people's accounts. And it sucked because I was always getting logged and people were always moving. And it was always a fucking hassle. But that was the only person I think that like really truly pulled a stunt. And he owed me wellies, Suboxone money, and I had like, honestly, I think it was $275 in his account.
So you got people, and they must owe you money all over the joint. You ever have anybody press up on you, try to be like, yo, you got to give me this or that?
Never,
Never.
never.
So what, like, why do you think that is? You think it's just because it was our
had
people?
one issue with one dude I know just didn't know me,
Mm,
right? He was a Spanish dude from Springfield, and he had owed me money for just a quarter and went to Gardner.
mm,
And then he came back, and I'm like, hey, you fucking owe me money. And he's like, oh, I don't even know who you are. And I goes, listen, I fucking know who you are. You got a quarter off me, and you went to God. You knew you were classed out,
mm.
and he was a king, and he just wasn't trying to. Hey, and he was a big dude,
Yeah.
and I got lucked. So I sent like Richie and whoever else to take care of it,
Yeah.
and no one ever fucking did.
Yeah.
But I wasn't there. I never seen him again. But
Yeah.
he just really wasn't trying to pay.
Yeah.
I want to get more, and I forgot to finish.
Yeah.
That day, they ended up coming in.
Mm.
He went on the phone, right?
Mm.
And then boom. When do they ever come in during rec through the side doors and fucking boom, boom?
When they know something.
They
Yeah.
came in through the fucking side doors, through fucking everywhere.
Mm.
So fucking deep. He had just fucking slid me a knife. He had begged me for fucking. I tucked it.
Yeah.
When they came in and grabbed the TV, he
Mm.
wouldn't take it out. And he kept fucking begging me, begging me, begging me, begging me, begging me. Take it out, take it out, take it out, take it out. And as soon as I took it out, he fucking went to the fucking phone. And they fucking come in fucking everywhere.
Dude.
The day he fucking moves out.
Yeah.
And then I just gave him 2 strips.
Tip off.
I just gave him 2 strips.
Yeah.
So now we're both in non-contact together. So now they're just trying to make it look good.
Yeah.
So I'm like, listen, make sure they move us in the same. Now I don't think anything.
Yeah.
I just think to my boy, I think we'll go in the box together.
Yeah.
Now anytime I get grabbed, we're in non-contact. We'll go in the box, right? So I'm like, no, make sure friggin' da da da. No, he wasn't a runner then, not yet. But I'm in the hole, right? I'm out for rec. Who's yelling up to me?
Mm.
Who's a runner?
Yeah.
I'm like, how the fuck didn't you get lugged? You're a runner?
Yeah. Alarm bells going off. Left and right, bro.
And then I start thinking about everything.
Mm.
Everything. All the times fucking cops had said shit. Beach, the big cop Beach said, Gardner, Ips, again. He's like, yo, why are you saying it like that? He's like, why are you always getting called to the Ips?
Mm.
Why Shepard always calling for you?
Oh.
And then I'm like, what the fuck? And then you know what sealed this for me, right? And it was a cop too. What was the dude? The cop Dude. What was his name? He was an ex-hip. He worked N2. But anyways, he said it, right? And we were like, yeah, right. He's pointing, yeah, you wonder why you keep getting fucking grabbed. And then pointed to a cell, and he pointed to 64. I was gonna let you like that. And I'm like, nah. So he asked Altieri. Now, Altieri, I just don't see him fucking lying. And Altieri was like, oh, it's hard. Whatever he said. I forget what he said, but he confirmed it. And I'm like, listen, I forget the cop's name. I can picture him right now in my head, but when Altieri
Verdun?
or Dugo, no. What the fuck was his name? Well, I was thinking of Verdugo because of fucking the Yankee guy left the Red Sox.
Real quick though, because this is like something that a lot of people wanna. I mean, obviously, the people from our state and everybody knows like this.
Like nobody was closer to him than me, right? And when I look back, listen, right? I would never put somebody out there. Never in my life have I said that about someone and it not be true. The last time I was in the Bay, same thing happened. And I started saying shit, and all them clown fucking C-Dubs started saying, you can't say shit. And then boom, they come in, grab dude, right? Start lugging dudes off the block and take dude to dead him. And then confirm, boom, dude was a rat the whole time. I'm like, I fucking told you.
Yeah.
When I know, I know. I'm a fucking con. When I watch people, I've been watching. I'm smart. I know what's up. Listen, when I think of all the things, and I could sit here and list time after time after time, but we don't have time for that.
Yeah.
I could do that another time.
Right.
But listen, I'll put it on my fucking life. Right? I know it. And then I've also the nail on the thing was the Sully thing. what he did with Sully.
Yeah, I
That
remember
just
that
made
with
no
the biting,
fucking sense.
the biting thing.
But all together,
Yeah.
why would you do that? And then move on a known boyo so you don't come back, owe everyone on the it was just was crazy the way it happened because all three of us were together.
Mm.
And he got a piece. We were all sick. There was nothing on the block. And he goes, hey, I just got this quarter, broke it into threes and said, go lock in and do it. And I just did it. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking.
Mm.
I locked in during rec and did it.
Boom,
and then he moved on Sully. He just sucking Sully. And that was like it. It just opened our eyes. And people were like, shit.
You know what's crazy? It's so many people at that time, bro, and I don't mean to cut you off because this is just driving me crazy.
And then
bro.
why you never
All
come
this
back?
information.
If people say that about you, why wouldn't you come back and straighten it? A tough dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we have a couple people might have his back
Mm.
and just never came back.
Mm.
And I hate to say that. He was my boy.
Yeah.
That was
I
my
remember.
fucking road dog.
Yeah, I remember you guys were wicked close, and the thing that like I didn't want to believe it at the
that
time
was my
because
man in Walpole. Sorry to cut you
Yeah.
off, but that was my right hand in Walpole.
Yeah.
So that was how it carried over. That was the dude that I linked up with when I got to Walpole and said, "Hey, listen, you can't act like that here." And I'm
Yeah.
like, "I can't." Why?
Yeah.
And he's like, "You just can't.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna like it."
Yeah.
The older cons, they didn't, and then they taught me how to act like a real fucking con
Mm.
instead of being a fucking knucklehead.
Mm.
And that's where I learned how to.
Dude, I would love to keep on having this conversation because like I love talking to the guys that I know and like been around because we just vibe so well. But and we could definitely I want to do a live with you. You mind doing a live with me?
No problem.
Maybe tomorrow night or the next night or something like that. Or after the night this drops or something, I'll let you know.
I gotta talk to my wife and we can figure out with the car.
Okay. You don't have to come here. We could do it right online. But so let me just ask you this real quick. Right?
In person, it's
yeah, absolutely. We could do it right here if you want. So how many strips do you think you would say you brought in over the period of your sentence and all the time you were lugging, and how much money do you think you made total?
Thousands of strips.
Thousands of
strips. I brought in thousands of strips. And how much money did I make? When I went to DDU, I had $1,800.
Yeah.
Still. And that was from I was shooting coke. I was buying other drugs. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I'm more saying
a lot of money on shoot coke. But total, I made tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah. Yep.
Tens of thousands.
That's easy because I know you were bringing in massive amounts, bro. And I was seeing for years doing it. So, and I made, a good chunk of money just off a deuce. And I know how it is to hustle inside there. So you can stack money, but it does go so quick because you want to live good inside there. So you're always spending.
Buying a deuce and trying to flip that. And no one wanted to give the right connections, even though I knew the right fucking people, which was crazy. But that was really where the money was at. It became that's where the money was at. But they started getting hip to it. But mainly I stuck to my lane, which was I was getting in Suboxones faithfully.
So how easy would it have been for you to give somebody something and be like, go take care of that right there, bro. I need that dude taken out right now.
I never did it because if it was something on the green side, like if Doyle, I would have paid someone to take out Doyle. But anything else, I would have found a way to take out myself. I'm not gonna do that.
Right.
I'm gonna fucking do it myself, like Joey Red. Go do it your fucking self.
Yeah.
You can go to any side. You were on the gray side. You were on N2 with her. You do know what I mean? Guys that were doing that shit makes no fucking sense to me.
Yeah.
You ain't fucking whitey about. Go do it yourself.
Yeah, I respect it a lot more when you have something you gotta take care of, you do it yourself. Just the intricacies that we know of all the stuff that happened inside prison. There's just no way we can get it all done in this one thing. I fucking love this conversation. We're gonna finish.
Each cellmates, me and your brother caught a DDU ticket together. There's just so many.
Ooh, that's a good one. We're gonna get into that.
Cellmates in the hole, and I had to leave. And you're like, fucking, I forget what I left you. I took care of you.
Yeah, I'm sure, dude. It was just so many different
fucking. I had a missile in the hole.
Yeah.
I think.
You had a missile everywhere we were, dude. What the fuck? But Yeah, man. So I appreciate you guys. I'm gonna leave it off here. We're gonna get back into this and just dig into some more intricacies. I know that people are.
We're gonna do this again. We're not done.
Yeah.
There's so many things.
Facts. I appreciate everybody who showed up tonight. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Join my channel, $2.99. You could become a member. I do the Inner Circle posts every single day, motivational, inspirational, with resources and links in the description. So join my channel, support something that matters. You're gonna find the realest content here, quality people, quality over quantity all day. Boil shit. Love you guys. Appreciate you for showing up. W number out. Okay, one more little promo for my man right here.
I got all the sneakers that come out. Check out, got some fucking Travis that just come out.
That boy showed up.
AHEARN 6224.
You got these right here. I'm trying to show it, right? You dropped me off these tonight.
These I just gave him for free. That's how I do it.
Right.
But check out that Instagram page.
All right, fellas. Appreciate you guys showing up. W number out.